Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I, Nikhar Agarwal, extend to you all a very warm welcome to today's webinar on leveraging AI-powered enterprise workflows to enable next phase of transformation, an initiative by ETCIO and Symphony AI Summit. The banking and finance industry is undergoing a shift caused by fintech innovation and emerging technologies, volatile markets, and rising cyber threats. The need of the hour is to scale innovative breakthroughs and drive business growth with digital transformation. While BFSI firms are zealous about implementing cutting edge technologies, the change in workplace dynamics has introduced unique opportunities to enhance employee and user experience, automate processes, build omni channel experiences, and most importantly, drive a future ready stack of AI enabled enterprise workflow. The ubiquity of digital technologies in the BFSI industry has unleashed the power to deliver personalized experiences and improve operational efficiency with automation and digital workflows, and boost business growth with digital transformation. To learn more about the ubiquity of digital transformation in enhancing the employee experience, boosting productivity, creating an omni-channel for a connected workplace, and most importantly, driving business growth, in today's session, our focus on SLA to XLA will deep dive into insights around the BFSI institutions, how they can reap the benefits of digital transformation. Today, we are joined by Mr. Jayendran Sridharan, Senior Solutions Consultant at Symphony AI Summit, to deliberate on the importance of unified service portal and integrated platform for connected branch to deliver exceptional user experience. Mr. Jay has about 18 years of versatile experience. He's a great technologist and has amazing knowledge about innovation, digital transformation, people, processes, and technology. Welcome to this topical webinar, Mr. Sridharan. So without any further delay, let's start with today's session. We encourage our audience to share your questions with us in the Q&A session as the session progresses. Towards the end of the webinar, we will open the platform for our esteemed speaker to answer your questions. With that, over to you, Mr. Sridharan.
Thanks, Nikar. Thanks for that introduction, and I'll welcome everybody. Let me quickly share my screen, and let's get into how we, empower workflows and so on and so forth. So, having said that, and so like I mentioned, welcome to the AI-powered enterprise workflow to enable the next phase of transformation. So what are we looking at, or what are we talking about? Today, in this current scenario, we have moved from how we have the services from any of the service providers or any vendor who's giving us the services to more from experiencing a kind of a journey which is easy for myself as a user or for somebody who's actually providing the services. When you take any example today, you take if you take all these food industries, when you look at Zomato, when you look at the Swiggy's, we're not just ordering food, but we are looking at prompt services. We're looking at making sure it comes on time, and also the experience when you go on to that application, you have so much of information, make it easy, and so on and so forth. So our day-to-day life itself, we are looking at anything we look at is we're looking for that experience, that enriched experience, that wonderful experience. So as the industries today, and just to talk a little bit, right from the SLAs to XLAs. What do I mean by that? Now, if you look at the traditional service level agreements, which any organization, what they do is to have this break fix approach. For example, if today any laptop crashes, the IT team comes up and they fix the problem. So what we're looking at is they do it quickly and we get onto it. But then that entire journey, how did I contact that IT team? How did how did I know who is helping me out and what are they doing, and was it resolved, how quickly, and so on and so forth. So that entire journey, right? So that is where this digital workplace comes in, that enterprise workflow comes in. So if you look at it, the digital workplace is evolving with this demographic shift. And the hybrid work environment are actually rewriting these rules of IT service management. Right? So the traditional ITSM metrics, they stuck on to SLAs, but now the industry is going through a shift from an SLA to an XLA. Sounds very similar, but a lot of difference when it comes to having that experience, right? Now, let me take an example, or let me take a research which is done by Gartner here. Now, what are they talking about? If you look at that curve, the traditional experience curve, which is represented in white today, you see a dip, and there's no consistency. So obviously, when something goes wrong, like I gave an example about fixing up a laptop, each one, and it takes time. Sometimes you have the information, sometimes you don't have the information. But how do we improve this? And that's where the XLA measure or the criteria of it comes into play. And if you look at that graph, which is represented in yellow, you can see it's pretty much consistent. All the way so that it's pretty much so that break fix where we've highlighted is, you see that leap in which that experience or the way that journey for that particular user, as well as the person who's providing the services, the employer, all of them have that service. So once that has been achieved, and you see the experience is totally different, and it's much more consistent here. So if you focus on XLA, we are significantly improving the employee experience and the enterprise productivity. So that's what Gartner is also saying, and that's what I would also like to share as to how SymphonyAI Summit today helped one of our customers to go through the journey. But before I do that, let's take a common example today. If you look at a journey of employee in any organization, not any specific industry, any industry today, the transition of that employee once the person onboards till the person, offboards the organization. Every little thing, if that is being enhanced digitally, the experience is going to be far more better. So as soon as the person onboards, so the person has the information about he or she, what kind of training is required, or what is being provided, everything through this digital workflow which has been enabled over here. That journey becomes so much more enriched from that perspective. And throughout that, and not just onboarding, but anything which happens after that. For example, let's say I have questions on something to do with my salary, and I'm not very sure when does it get credited, or what's the breakup of my salary when it comes. Who do I contact? Do I have that information? If I go into the system, do I have that information, or should I toggle between different sets of intranets or the URLs? And that becomes cumbersome. It's not a journey which not anybody would want to embark. But if I have everything in fingertips, all in one glass panel, then I get information so much more easier, quicker. My experience is enriched, and I'm so happy about doing it. Even if I'm requesting for a software, now it's not just the requesting part of it. It's not just that, but what happens after that, right? The journey of having automation where I request, and then if it's been approved, the software gets installed automatically based on that automation journey. So that way the productivity is quicker. Human error is very much reduced. So on and so forth. So these are some of the examples during my journey as an employee of any organization. Let it be even travel. Let it be even requesting for, especially when you look at big organizations here. Now, when you look at that, even getting a simple, let's say, a scribble pad, a pen, or anything of that nature, you might have to knock on multiple doors or send emails and follow up with that emails and so on and so forth. But all of that through this digital workflow, or otherwise known as the AI-powered enterprise workflow, that can be easily attained. Right now, if you have somebody coming into your office, you're hosting them, you want to make sure everything is in place. You want to make sure that the refreshments, so you talk to administration. Most of the administration today, you have to send an email, and then you have to follow up with the email, and then they have to produce a certain gate pass from a security, and so on and so forth. It's, again, there's a lot of flow of the email. So it's not something which is very pleasant. But again, with if you've designed a workflow and it has that, and you have the automation in place, all of that takes place by just simply raising a request. So everybody is comfortable, everybody knows what needs to be done, and it gets done from that perspective. So any form, now we spoke about IT when we talk about software, we spoke about finance, when we talk about salaries, administration, travel, logistics, health, when you have insurance, reimbursement request, all of this, you have different departments, or probably one department doing multiple of these particular requests, which is there. But making easy from having a workflow design, you don't have to, make sure you allocate it to a certain particular team who needs to work on that. But imagine if the system is taking care of that, it's easy. So similarly, when you offboard a person is getting offboarded, automatic way of disabling all the access, disabling the email, and so on and so forth. Imagine that journey if it's been just by clicking, filling up a few information, just a few details, and then submitting it, and then the system takes care of that. So this is the power which we are talking about, when we leverage AI-powered enterprise workflows to literally enable the next phase of transformation. That's what we're talking about, right? So having said that, let me move on to a use case which we are very proud as an organization, which we helped this, one of the leading life insurance company today, is pain points. What were the pain points they had? They had, they didn't have one single portal service portal. They had multiple source code. They had, if I'm not wrong, close to 17 to 18 such portals where the user's experience was not very pleasant. Every department had its own portals, so navigating through those portals was not very easy because each portal was different from each other, and so on and so forth. So the journey itself was not something which was very comfortable. And on top of that, you had different business units, who we're talking about. So what did Summit do there? So SymphonyAI Summit went ahead, and the first thing what we did is we presented and made sure they had a single service portal. It didn't matter whether it was one function or 20 plus functions, which we did, so that for a user or for an employee, the journey was so easy because it was one-stop shop. Anything it was a click away. So if they want to talk with the IT department, they could just go click on the tab. If they want to talk to an HR department, click on a tab, and so on and so forth. So everything became easy, and all under one single service portal. They could follow up with whatever request they made or whatever issues they've raised, finding out information about any of these departments, having bulletin information if there's anything which is there, all under one single source portal. So what did that mean? We achieved a better business alignment. So they understood that through Summit, they could make sure and align their business, processes today. So any form of processes which were mundane, probably they eliminated a lot of their process. Thanks to Summit, we had those workflows, those AI-powered enterprise workflows, which took care most of the mundane work which is there. And through automation, a lot more was achieved from that perspective. So this obviously led to greater savings and time here. So all this, all the way through by using the Summit here. So SymphonyAI Summit, again, just talking about how the AI-powered enterprise workflow, which enable them to take that phase, to go to that next phase of the transformation. Here now, they're talking about improving their processes, improving their services, and so on and so forth. So that's something which we have done, right? So coming now, who are we and what do we provide? So SymphonyAI Summit today simplifies work. I think that itself speaks volumes, where all the the complicated process, but with AI-powered enterprise workflows, automation, all of that, we simplify that work, and you're going to see that. And by doing that, we have increased productivity, velocity, and collaboration. Very important. Again, this is what we offer to all our customers when it comes to that. Everybody wants to make sure the productivity is increased. There's a sense of collaboration which helps anybody and any unit here, and all put together is what we finally have achieved is the delivery of delightful user experience here. So the experience is great, that aspect of it, right? So how do we help the BFI sectors today, right? So now, if you look at when we speak about a unified service portal, what are we talking about, right? We are talking about all the branches, all the branches out of all locations, wherever you're placed, if it's a global, all of that, under one unified source portal. So you have enough and more information about them. You can ensure, the systems, the facilities, and infra all operate whenever and wherever the customers need it, right? So it's more like a guaranteed services which are consistent across all banks. So that experience which you cater is not just for the headquarters, but all across, right? And having this just a unified service portal, how do I enhance that? Is making sure you have an omni-channel experience. So how do I reach out today? You can reach out through chat, mobile, web, mail. All of this is something which everybody today is looking forward for, just to gain that experience. Again, this is where that XLA comes into play on being a significant improvement when it comes to that employee experience totally, right? Digital workflows, I already gave you some examples of workflows having like onboarding or software installations. You're having that. So normally, these digital workflows are actually becoming the building blocks of modern customer experience and obviously employee experiences. That goes without saying, right? Workflows such as requesting for either, like I mentioned, a software, anything of that nature, is saying something. It says volumes, right? So it has that information. An extension on also all the processes getting simplified and optimized. I again gave another example earlier, talking about how we can simplify those processes by using the AI-powered enterprise workflows and the automation part of it. So obviously, this will increase employees' efficiency and productivity. When it comes to having them simplified, and this is all driven through the enterprise service management summit as of, right? Also, the operational excellence in driving this transformation service back. So, for example, the processes which today I'm sure you all have multiple processes where we can help you transform that the operational issues or that disconnected employee experience. We can help you change that, right? We can make sure that we enrich that process and have a more of an efficient operations across all the branches everywhere. It's the same experience, or the customer life cycle happens to remain the same. So that's from that perspective of this, right? Then we can also talk about the operational resilience, what you're talking about. So when you have automated when we have all your processes mapped and automated and dependency, now what happens is it gives you a clear view of all the softwares, all the hardware, so all your assets all tagged under one roof. You get to see all of this and know what is happening on each of them, whether it's your hardware, software, your configuration items, otherwise known as CIs, right? What kind of services they're providing. By having this information, you're reducing outage and so on and so forth, right? A little bit about, now that I spoke so much about what we cater, a little bit about who we are. So as an organization, we are part of the SymphonyAI family. Now, SymphonyAI's mission is to ensure that we help all the enterprises across various industries to become a better B2B by empowering the AI, right? So SymphonyAI is a predictive and a generative AI SaaS solution which delivers rapid values through operational efficiency and AI-driven recommendations. So simply what I mean is that today you see AI is used from B2C, but what we are trying to do is we want to be the leading enterprise AI SaaS when it comes to B2B. The same experience what you see from a business to B2C, but we're going to do that from B2B, and we've been successful. But so we are into retail. So any stores, customer merchandising, we are into that. We are also having a business vertical where it caters to CPG. Again, all AI driven. All of this is AI driven. Financial and crime and prevention, again, a very huge and a very critical industry, and we're very proud that we have a business vertical there, and we're doing wonders over there. If you happen to go on LinkedIn, you're going to see a lot more information. We're into media and manufacturing from a business unit, and finally, today when we talk about Summit, that's where we come in, the enterprise service management here, right? Moving ahead, these are some of our customers. We have 1,300 customers across the world globally, and I'm sure some of y'all or most of y'all will know all of these customers or some of them. These are accolades which we have won across various industries as Symphony, right? And then a little bit about Summit. Just going to skip that. So we're very proud that we have won an accolade, which is a customer's choice award. We've been winning that consistently from the year 2018 with the pandemic aside, but we've been consistently winning that. We're very proud of that. We've also been a CIO choice award in India for the last 6 years, another milestone which we as an organization are very proud of. We are also part of the ISG provider. So we are an IDC market player, major player. These are some of our own customers. What you saw earlier was our SymphonyAI customers. This is our own customers. Again, you can see various verticals we belong to, right? These are snippets. Why we've been winning consistently. These are the ratings out of the few features which Gartner again conducts this. So if you notice against our competition, we've always been faring successfully higher, whether it's willingness to recommend, which is very important for us, product capability, again, an important evaluation and contracting integration, service and support. So all of which we've scored consistently high, and that's why we've been winning these awards. So you can go onto the Gartner website and you can actually check out. We're also very proud that we've been an honorable mention in the 2002 Gartner Magic Quadrant. So, since we've already been having an honorable mention, so it's not too far that we become the part of the Magic Quadrant there, right? These are snippets I'm going to skip over. You can actually go and see the voice of the customer, where we are placed. You can attend the Gartner website, and this information is available. This is the ISG, which I mentioned earlier. Again, we are on the leaderboard. So as you can see, even this is available once you go onto the ISG, right? The final slide before I move on to the demonstration here, so is that what do we offer, what does the platform is, and how it is all made up. Now, for example, a platform engine, we are a true multi-tenant, very, very important. Like I said, a single panel, all your branches, all your business units, all of that can fit under one single panel. So a multi-tenant. We are available on Azure Cloud or any other cloud platform. We can be hosted in AWS, Google, and obviously Microsoft Azure. And also we provide an on-premise deployment. So if you're very concerned about hosting it within your environment, absolutely no problem. It's never been a challenge. We can go ahead and host it. A huge integration hub and library, another important feature. A lot of these banking industries have other applications, other softwares which integrate, and they work. They needed to be integrated. So we have a huge integration hub. Also, we have API designers, which are very flexible. So if you have a software which is not part of a library, I'm more than happy to make that part of our library. Other than that, this is where, again, when we talk about the AI-powered enterprise workflows, the flexible, what we call it is no-code, low-code. So you can build your forms, you can create your workflows, you can design and approve. And I'm not talking about a certified person who knows coding. No, I'm talking about anybody who's gone through our training. You can even be just a HR person, can still work on Summit and create your forms, create your workflows, and build your SLAs and so on and so forth. Notification engine, very important when we talk about visibility, traceability. You would want to be aware as to what, again, part of that journey, which that experience, right? You would want to know, you want to have the information in your fingertips, you want to be informed quickly, because it enriches. Every time I want to know what my status is, I don't want to go and check, but if I have a notification which keeps coming, keeps me updated, I think I'm going to be very happy. So notification engine mail parts is something which you can configure. And finally, I think all of you all know reporting and dashboarding is very important. So we have a BI driven reports and dashboards. Again, no restriction on how many reports and how many dashboards you can create, as many as you want from our system here. So we offer an ITSM solution, for 12 ITIL process certified, but moreover, enterprise service management is what we like to cater, because we cater to all industries here, and a complete and a robust asset management, which talks about your hardware assets, software asset, and asset lifecycle management. So again, part of that journey of your experience, right, that AI-powered enterprise workflow, this becomes important, because you want to trace what's happening, you want to know what compliance you're from a software perspective, what's the life cycle of your assets, and so on. So very important. Automation, I think I've used this word in the previous slide multiple times, when the current mundane process, just to enhance that experience, we have that automation, which actually ticks off a lot of those boxes, which enriches the experience of employees today, right? So that makes that journey even more smoother, much more clearer, with zero human errors from that perspective. Obviously, AI, Cindy, I'm going to give you some examples in Cindy, how we use Cindy. Cindy becomes very helpful, available 24/7, able to, it works through NLP and understands the intent, provides the right information, quicker information, and also through automation, a lot can be achieved, especially all these access, password reset, all of this, which is minute, can be even software installation. Cindy can help you through automation. Everything can be done with zero human intervention and errors from that perspective, right? Omni-channel, I already spoke about omni-channel. We are available on Teams, Slack, Skype, Jabber, through Cindy. We have our own mobile application, so you can download our mobile application and start working. Consumers, I think by now you all know, anybody and everybody gets to consume a product. Various departments can consume. You can start off with IT and then extend it all the way up to your legal, your logistics. Anybody today can go for it. Right. So this is something which I want to talk now. I'm going to switch over to my demonstration of my product. So now we spoke about how you can transform that and give that personalized experience to your employers. So the employees, the first thing is a single glass panel to reach out to any business unit or any department, anybody today, right? So you want to make sure it's a one-stop shop from that perspective. Now, if you look at my screen, I have multiple tabs representing each of the departments, and I can reach out to those departments just by clicking and understanding what is happening, or if I want to raise a request or an issue from that perspective. So, I get into an HR system and I can start asking questions, or if I want to know about the policies and procedures, I get to see that information here. Right? So again, what we call this is multi-tenant, but just letting you know, you can have single panel of glass which caters to that. Second most important thing is, how do I engage with the system? What are the modes of engagement in the system? So obviously chatting, we have options where you can go ahead and chat. You can send a simple email. You can get onto the web portal, the website, right? Or there's another way. Cindy is another form or a mode of engagement. If Cindy, if you're not on this portal, since I told you, it's available on Teams, Slack, Skype, and Jabber, and you can start using that from an experience standpoint. So if I talk about Cindy, now Cindy being an AI-driven agent, now it allows me to choose which department I want to talk to. So if I say IT, and then it says, okay, how can I help you? Now, from an experience standpoint of view, if I say, let's say something very simple like Outlook is not working, for that matter. So Cindy what it does is understands the intent. It identifies whether this is going to be an issue, whether it's a request, whatnot. But if you notice, the moment I say that, first it allows me to understand, saying, hey, you know what, I have some knowledge articles. Do you want me to go through these articles? These articles are available. See if it's helpful. Now, these articles, when I just said Outlook is not working, if I say show more, I have information, a step-by-step information on what I need to do. If that doesn't help, I can always open up this is a YouTube video, but media content can also be leveraged, or Cindy can go ahead and pull out media content which you uploaded in probably in your environment, or you've just tagged in a YouTube video. You can do that. Now, it gives me two videos because two articles are available, and it allows me, it's last, do I still go about logging in instance? But if these articles have been helpful, I can just say I'm done. Thank you very much. This is it. Now, this is related to an issue. You can converse with Cindy on request. You can converse with Cindy with information, just information like an FAQ. Now, Cindy starts helping, and after a point in time, Cindy also, if Cindy is not able to help, that's only when it's transferred to a live agent. But that experience of what you're speaking to Cindy, all of that just gets continued from the agent. You don't start the entire cycle from the beginning aspect of it, right? So it quickly transforms from that aspect. So let me show you another mode, or probably another experience when we talk about that digital flow. Right now, if I take an onboarding request, now if I go here and if I say onboarding, let's say a user or any of that nature, right? If I'm onboarding a person here, now what does that journey do? A couple of things. I just want to fill up a form. Like, for example, if I say I just want to randomly fill up a form, and then after which I submit, it should take care of the rest. What do I mean by that? It should trigger automated emails to the appropriate team. It should create a workflow from that aspect of it. So, and not only that, through automation, we can ensure that entire journey of onboarding is quicker than normal, and everything takes place from that perspective. So once I fill this form, and I can quickly show you from a request standpoint of view, if I go to a list, service request list, having this filled with an automation, with that digital journey, let me first filter, because it not only fulfills the request, but it also resolves the request from that aspect. So if I happen to choose, let's say, post, so let me open. I'm just going to say apply. Now, I'm going to show you that information here. Right now, let's take an onboarding example here. So assuming I've filled up that form, and then it doesn't actually go to a team member, because the automation kicks in. It starts the automation journey. So if I go into my communication, it communicates at every single time saying that I've successfully created an Active Directory user, because there's a user coming into the system. It displays the name. It also creates an email ID in your Office 365. As you can see here, it has created. And just for this demo purpose, what I've done is I have the notepad installed in my system. So it also has done that. So there's a notepad also which has been created. But all of this has been successfully achieved just by going ahead and creating that onboarding journey. And also, every step can be tracked. So if there's an error or anything which is there, you can get to see that. So you can see the workflow. We've designed the workflow, the AI-powered enterprise workflow. We're calling it onboarding with software installation. And you can see all the steps which was executed, what was the status on each, and when was it executed, and what was the output of this. So this is just one such example. So you have examples that when I go back, you have examples of software installation, sorry. So software installation and that's like VM spinning. All of this has that digital journey here. It doesn't have to be with this, but with our automation, with Cindy, you can achieve, and you can again improve that XLA, right? You can significantly improve your employee experience. This is one such example uh, from that aspect of it. So now if I have to go back and if I talk about the journey from, I showed you, from Cindy perspective of it, like Cindy starts questioning and it uses all natural language, it understands the intent, it identifies the intent. And not only that, it also assigns it to the right team who needs to work on this. So same thing with requests. So imagine you can create as many requests as you want, and to make sure you have that particular journey which is being achievable from that aspect, right? So this is something from the experience. So if you notice that it makes my life easy as a user, it makes my life, person who's even resolving it, everything they need to do is just check that aspect of it, right? Now, very similarly, when we look at the management aspect of it, right? We have the entire inventory. So this is more from the visibility and traceability of all the assets, that entire journey which it goes through. So I have that information. How many assets are there in my store? How many have been allocated? How many have been sent to repair? And that journey, constantly is available. So I know I can make those decisions which is needed to make. Right. Not only that, I also get to see all the changes which have happened in hardware, all the changes which have happened in software, all new assets which are coming to my environment. Now, all these are critical, especially when you look at the banking environment. This becomes very, very important from the aspect of it, right? So you have all of this. So when I talk about digital workflows, when I say they are the building blocks of the modern customer experience, all this and more has that. When you have that information, you have that ability. And not only that, we have options to blacklist and whitelist softwares. So you're ensuring that you're compliant free from that perspective. We have the features where it doesn't allow, and we also, when we say it doesn't allow, we have a feature called application control. So you can go ahead and have a profile created calling out all the softwares which are blacklisted, all the softwares which are not allowed, all the files which are not allowed. All of that you can call them. You can name the profile and then start associating those profiles. So for example, here I have created a profile and I've told them that these particular users has to have this profile, and in this profile I have made sure they shouldn't allow any social media, any form of social media content to be there on the systems. I've created that, and then I'm mapping it to those various systems, and then it will not allow that particular systems to have any form of social media. Basically, there's an agent which sits on it and doesn't allow them to download it. So that's one. Another form of compliance from our perspective is the endpoint dashboard, right? So we allow, again, information here, which helps that understanding of what is happening, in your environment here. So especially some of these, some of the banks, your USBs might be disabled. Antivirus should be always with the latest version or one version below, so on and so forth. So all of that gets captured, and you get to see whether you're compliant or not with that information. So you can prioritize which is the highest priority from that perspective of which endpoint compliance stands hold of the highest priority, and based on that you get to track all of that data in the system over here, right, from this perspective here, right? And then finally, when we look at reports, especially the information what you're looking at from a compliance standpoint of view, you want to make sure that your organization is software compliant. Again, this is mainly when we look at the compliance part of it, right? You have a comprehensive asset life cycle, and which basically helps most of the banks to have proper utilization, and then also reduction in the pilferage, and ensure efficient compliance during audit, right? Any compliance, especially when it comes to audits, you want to make sure that you have the right information. You have not, because we have the discovery of your hardware, your software, and through asset controller, which is a feature which I showed you, you're controlling all the softwares which are blacklisted. And then the life cycle itself calls out how many assets are available, how many are sent out for repair, how many have returned, or how many have been deactivated. All of this, makes ensure that, all your audits are there. So this is one such report where we're talking about, the procured licenses against, how many of them are valid, how many are actually installed, and so on and so forth. So a lot of information from that aspect gets captured from here. So again, just to reiterate the entire conversation here, we are talking about having an experience, an enriched experience. Now, you can have this experience through, making sure that all the banks are connected, all the workers, all the employees, I won't say workers, but all the employees are all connected, either the system, the facilities, the infra, operations, whenever and wherever the customers need them, all are guaranteed and delivered with a consistency across all the, all your branches, all your bank channels, everything maintains that, right? Now, Summit also, like I mentioned, it provides an omni-channel engagement throughout. Then through the AI-enabled enterprise digital workflows can allow you to, have, like, when we talk about requesting for new cards or employee onboarding or a software, making sure it has absolutely no stoppage or no confusion at any point in time. You have a smooth flow and making sure you're not having any form of disconnect, and also providing a faster resolution here. Also, the banks using Summit today, they can increase the efficiency and the productivity by the enterprise service management portfolio, right? For example, I just showed you, right, the entire journey of request through automation. It makes it so much more easier from that perspective of it, right? Also, now, if you take as an enterprise platform, we have helped in transforming banks' operational issues and the disconnect of employee experience and inefficiently back office processes into a modern and efficient operational that delivers superior services throughout the customer. So the mundane back offices which are there, we've converted all of them into a digital and a much more easier flow, so that the customers embark on that journey and are given that privilege from a service standpoint of view. So that is something which is there, right? So having said that, I think this is what I wanted to showcase. I wanted to talk about it real quick from the aspect of how can we leverage AI powered enterprise workflow to enable or to transform into the next phase, right? This is something which I wanted to showcase from this aspect of it. But having said that, I'll have Nikar post a poll question right now. Let me stop sharing my screen.
Well, thank you, Jay. That was quite a power-packed session today. Quite insightful, very informative. With that, we will quickly move on to our poll and Q&A session. So the poll question, I'll ask my team to present the poll question for our audience. So the poll question today is, are you considering the implementation of any of the following solutions within the next 6 to 12 months? Well, Jay, let's quickly move on to the questions. So I think we have a couple of quite good, quite insightful, quite informative questions today.
Sure.
Yeah. So the question is, what are the essential components of effective asset tracking, control, and compliance within the banking and finance sector?
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, right? I think the later part of my demonstration was about how do we manage assets from control. So we have certain features like asset controller, which allows you to control the softwares which are getting installed in any of your systems today. That is one. But when we look at hardware perspective, we also have the uh, hardware variance report, which allows you to understand what hardware are being used, and from a reporting standpoint of view, we have a complete traceability of this compliant software compliance, the usage of the software, all of this, and all of the assets which are being distributed all are under one panel, and everything can be easily rather, I would say the visibility is much more clearer, and tracing these assets makes it easy.
Right. So, would you like to throw some light on on the designing of custom workflow using the platform?
Absolutely. So now, for example, every bank, they have their own set of workflows which they define. So what Summit does there is we step in, we understand the process first, and we share our lay through our expertise. They share some light as to how we can better. But always there's flexibility, since we can create a form, we can design the form, we can create a approval workflows, with that form, because based on the process, all of that, and all are simple click, drag and drop, and once that has been achieved, then any form of your workflows, and that which includes even automation. So without, I don't have to mention that, but automation comes into picture. So you can have your workflows, your automation go hand in hand, and then the journey becomes very smooth, and it's easy from that perspective. So that's something from our summit today.
Right. Jay, would you please like to share your insights, share your opinion on what are the key benefits of implementing a unified service portal and integrated platform for connected branches in terms of delivering exceptional user experiences?
I think, as you said, right, having a unified platform itself answers a lot of that question, because when you have branches and they work out of their own silos, it becomes very difficult to understand what is happening there. Or as a user, or as a person who walks into a bank today, if you experience a certain set of not features, probably the services which you experience in one branch, and then probably if you move on to another branch, and then you experience something totally different, but it's from the same bank. So you're getting two different experiences. That itself is not very pleasant from that perspective, right? Now imagine the same thing when you look at it from a digital aspect. Now if you're having it, uh, when your headquarters have a different app, or a different look and feel, whereas your branches have that. So it's always nice to have all of them collated, have the unified. This is from a customer. Let's say even as an employer, right, a person who works, you would want to have those same services which are provided consistently across any branch today. So I might be working out of a branch out of Bangalore. You might be sitting out of Delhi, but the consistency should be there. How do we achieve that? Is to have that single unified portal. So this is just the basic, and there's so much more to it, right? When we talk about offerings of the services, the turnover time, all of that, is always comfortable when you have a single unified portal, which enriches and has a consistency of that experience.
Well, thank you so much, Jay. It was lovely having you today at the session. We definitely got to learn a lot from the insights shared by you, from digital workflows, from to AI-enabled enterprise workflows, digital workplace, omni-channel experience, and a lot of digital transformation that can be really helpful for the BFSI sector to stay competitive and to boost business growth. Thank you so much, Jay, for
Yeah,
being
a
with us
couple of
today.
things. Yeah, couple of things, Nikhar, before I leave. So we are more than happy to share the deck which you all saw. So we're more than happy to share it to all the audiences who are part of this. Second thing is, I know there's so much more in the SymphonyAI Summit. I've not even touched the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more, and with the time in hand, and want to make sure that I'm not overwhelming to our audience today. So please get in touch with us. We're more than happy at any point in time to either have a full-fledged demonstration or a workshop on certain features or certain processes to have a greater understanding. And then we have a lot more use cases. So when we share that presentation to all of y'all are going to see a lot more use cases where some of our customers have been banking customers, and how we have transformed their entire journey from what they were to what they currently are at. So again, this is all through the digital experience. So I just want to make sure everybody is aware that we are more than happy to get in touch with any of y'all. And yep, this webinar doesn't do we only covered what we need to cover, but there's so much more in depth. And I would like everybody in the audience to get in touch with us, and feel free at any point in time to talk to our team or anybody from my team. We're more than happy to get that. So Nikhar, I wanted to make sure that message is heard loud and clear.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Jay. And I believe our audiences will be very happy to connect with you and your team to understand more about the solutions, to understand what innovative breakthroughs that you are doing. Thank you so much, Jay. Before we wrap up, I want to wish all our audiences safety and the best of health. Team Economic Times BFSI wishes you all a more positive and brighter tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you, audiences. Thank you. Thank you so much.